The next internet will not be seen on a mobile or desktop website. This video is made to inspire you by Andrew Couch. Introduction. For the last few years, I have focused on the dream state in relation to the awakened state. I entered the spirit world, and here's what I learned. Think of the brain as a central computer that controls all the body's functions. The rest of the nervous system is like a network that relays messages back and forth from the brain to different parts of the body. It does this via the spinal cord, which runs from the brain down through the back. Note, the spinal cord is like an Ethernet cable that broadcasts radio signals as it is receiving and transmitting from the brain, but it also wirelessly broadcasts this data as it's pushing it through to the central nervous system, coming in and out of the brain. Consider this. Do humans give off radiation? Yes. Humans give off radiation, which is electromagnetic radiation with a frequency lower than visible light. In addition, a human gives off thermal radiation, which gives off radio waves, infrared waves, and even visible light. The new internet would be a combination of visual and audio broadcasts. Hear me out. The technology we could make could be accessible to everyone. That would allow them to listen to thoughts that are being broadcasted, as well as have inner visuals. This is when you're seeing visuals inside of your thinking that could be shared or shared through the collective consciousness by means of technology supporting, rather than you using any type of training to tune into this. Like a walkie-talkie, as real as that, with visual. Okay. From what I've learned, speech, when we talk, it's low speed, probably the lowest that we have realized in our human bodies. When we have thoughts, this is like mid-speed. If you have a thought to yourself right now, feel the speed difference from your thinking to when you start talking. You have to slow down to talk to someone. And when you're dreaming, or in the spirit world, this is high speed with time not being felt. And you have audio and visual. So audio, you're still hearing with your inner abilities, and you're having visuals with your inner abilities. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you here already know this or have had these experiences. But like I said, I've been putting a lot of time over the past few years really focusing on this. I can get into that later. What I've noticed is we're like a slinky. In our physical bodies, we're realized at the back of the slinky in the slowest time imaginable. When we go to sleep, in our faster timing, with our awareness and faster timing, we probably, and you probably don't even know that time exists, but you know that the timing is faster. But then when you wake up, you fall back into your body and you're at the back end of this slinky. That's what it felt like as I started doing practices and started consciously putting my awareness as far up the slinky as I could go. I started to feel the difference from faster to slower, which is partly why I wanted to help make this video, to inspire some of us that might already be thinking of ways to push the internet a little bit forward, a little closer and a little more intimate to us. I believe we can make a device like a radio receiver that can pick up these radio waves that are being emitted from us already, capture them, and then relay them through the mechanical world. So through typical broadcast, we could, connect it to a mobile app, have it broadcast, and have people listen in through headphones, just like we're listening in now. The timing would be a little faster. You'd have to listen. But with a little bit of training, you could get the hang of it. Lately I've called this channel 1 and channel 2. Channel 0 being the written word, because it's stationary forever. Channel 1 being speaking, which is me talking to you right now. And channel 2 are thoughts, which is just a little bit faster timing than the spoken thoughts. But both our spoken words and our thoughts are both emitting an electrical frequency, which is emitting from our bodies. So it wouldn't be too far-fetched to think that you could capture this and relay it through mechanical means. Okay, we're walking radio broadcasters, if you think about it, in terms of our brain activity relaying messages down through our spinal cord, and it's broadcasting out with measurable radio waves. Subtle, but measurable. What if we were to use artificial intelligence, build a program that would be able to work with this receiver and keep the spoken world separate, the slower timing, and the spiritual world, our dreaming world, separate, and only paying attention to just the thoughts world. So as we're having a thought, there's a particular timing there. And I believe these things are partitioned by timing. When we sleep, the timing is faster. The partition, it's as if we're on this other side of a partition. When we're having thoughts, it is as if we're in the middle of this partition. And then when we're in the spoken world, in our conscious state during the daytime, we're on the lowest end of this partition, which is like I was talking about before, feeling like we're on the bottom of a slinky, connected to it, always feeling the backlash. It's like thoughts come down, the light pattern comes down, it hits the bottom of the slinky, and we kind of reflect back with it in the physical world is what it's been feeling like. We could train ourselves. If there is a broadcast that goes out over time, I envision something that would get in resonant frequency with our frequency, and it would kind of tune in, and it would vibrate our spinal cord. And I believe, and I think some other developers that work with software out there and might be able to understand this, just as well, if not better. You get in resonant frequency with it, you could start to manipulate it in a way where audio is coming in instead of just going out. Visuals are coming in instead of just going out. It's not so much like hacking a system, but more about getting in tune with it and then adding to the receiving component of it as our brain's sending, receiving, sending, receiving, sending, receiving. So you would just kind of get in there on the receiving, and you would add in the frequency from mechanical means. So I'm not talking like telepathy to people having, telepathy with each other. I'm talking about mechanical intervention, getting in frequency, capturing, and then rebroadcasting. And then over time, you would get in tune with this. You would learn how the broadcast works. Your spinal cord would be the radio receiver, and you would just start to consciously pay attention to what's coming in. And I truly believe this is where the next internet is going to be, and it's going to be those that are able to capture this and interact with it without any sort of implants. This is kind of what I've been experiencing and have somewhat figured out over the past few years, really diving deep into it. And I'm giving the watered down version right now. I just want to get through this to inspire some of our thinking. I believe that over practice and with mechanical intervention, we could have conscious broadcasters, people that are going around having thoughts all day that are broadcasting them to a wide, large audience of people that are tuning in, that consciously want to tune in, either through mechanical means or if they, I should say, have a gift or the ability, or they're sensitive enough, they can listen in on the vibrations that are in tune with their own body and simply pick it up that way. Why wouldn't we? We're electrical, we send, we receive. Or you could tune into a single person and listen in. And this person wouldn't have, really any say-so of it, because we're not walking around with a Faraday cage over us, right? You're broadcasting all the time. And why would your thoughts not have an electrical reaction that are connected to your spinal cord that are broadcasting out as well with subtle but known radio waves? We would have conscious thought broadcasters that simply broadcast their thoughts in an easy way for others to listen in on. Imagine a thought streamer, someone going around having thoughts all day, recognizing that their thoughts are being broadcast and others are tuning in. It kind of takes like Twitch and YouTube to the next level, doesn't it? If you could have audio and then visuals with your inner eye and being able to visualize in on this and listen in on it as you're going about your daily activities, you're connected to an internet without using a mobile phone or a desktop computer. How would it not go that way? This new internet would be listen and broadcast capable with visual and audio. So the visuals that you see in your mind when you're dreaming, you would be able to see this in your awakened state through mechanical assistance, through technology assistance, through broadcasting towers. You would just get in synchronization with it, and over time you kind of train yourself to get better and better at it. I believe it's like going to the gym, from what I've found. As you go to sleep, you pay attention on the way through. As you wake up, you pay attention on the way out, and it connects you more to that side as that side gets more connected to this side. And in doing so, I've noticed it's kind of like ping pong with the send, receive, send, receive. And as a technologist, I thought, wow, how would you not be able to intervene on the receive, and then the brain thinks that it's coming from itself, but it's truly coming from somewhere else. Over time, you'd get better at knowing if it's coming from yourself or from somewhere else, but that's where the training would come in. And this would circumvent any kind of implants to be able to participate in a collective consciousness type of a scenario, I believe. Let's take a moment and remind ourselves we are electrical beings. We are electrical chemical. We are electrical, and we are broadcasting radiation and radio waves through that radiation. Why would we not be able to pick up on this with technology, like a radio receiver in your car? And you can tune into someone, or you could tune into a collective and be able to interact with it by listening with audio and listening with visual. We're not, yeah, we're not walking around with Faraday cages, right? So we're already broadcasting right now. This has already been happening since the day we were all born. We've all been broadcasting. Everything about us has been broadcasted out, whether it's being collected somewhere and stored. It might maybe by Mother Nature. This could be happening, but again, radio waves were here long before the invention of the mobile phone, and we just tapped into it, and now here we are. I'm making a video right now to help inspire some of us, using that same technology that tapped into the frequency that was already here naturally. Okay. I hope this video inspired you. Can you imagine talking about the internet or mobile phones at the founding of America? Can you imagine how they would think of you? Thank you for watching. I'm Andrew Couch.